It's time for our season wrap-up. Does that sound good to you guys?
Sounds great.
Yep. Yes, you guys are going to give us some of your award winners, then we're going to talk about some other things in the NFL. So we'll start with the MVP award. Right now it looks like it's mostly down to Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Matt Ryan. Who do you guys have? We'll start with you, Erik.
All right, I went with Matt Ryan. It was actually a bit of a struggle picking this. I like Matt Ryan, but I also like Derek Carr of Oakland, because you saw in the last game without him, they kind of got blown out. They fell apart. But in the end, I went with Matt Ryan. Second in the NFL with 4,944 passing yards. This is Atlanta's first Super Bowl appearance since 1998, and he led him there. So I like him.
I'm going to have to agree with Erik. I have Matt Ryan also. In terms of quarterback rankings, he's the 5th best in NFL history just on his 2016 season. He's really led one of I think, the best offenses in football right now. And he came in and he's a real assassin on the deep ball. He hasn't thrown one interception on a deep ball this season, and I have to agree with Erik. I think he deserves this MVP pick over anyone else.
It's interesting you bring up Derek Carr in terms of the MVP voting. I think a lot of people don't necessarily know if it's a valuable award or a best player award, and that's where a lot of confusion can stem from. I think if you're going in terms of valuable, like how valuable someone is to their team, I think it's Aaron Rodgers, and I don't even think it's close. You look at Aaron Rodgers, 40 touchdowns, less than 10 picks. He didn't even have a running back for most of the season. They converted Ty Montgomery to their running back. You saw injuries at some point to Jordy Nelson, to Randall Cobb. They had to bring in Jared Cook to be the tight end, the Rams throwaway of all places. And he still did typical Aaron Rodgers things and was arguably the best quarterback in the league. I think Matt Ryan, while he was the most consistent and probably put up the best numbers, he had a lot of help. You look at maybe the best running back core with Freeman and Coleman. We touched on that last segment. You look at Julio Jones, Mohamed Sanu as that 1-2 in the receiver spot. I think Matt Ryan had a lot of help. So you can make a case for Matt Ryan with the consistency and then overall numbers you put up. But in terms of how valuable one is to their team, I think it's hard to make a case for anyone other than Aaron Rodgers.
I think if you're looking at it like in the grand scheme of things, overall, Aaron Rodgers, I would take 10 times out of 10 over Matt Ryan. This season in particular, though, the numbers don't lie. Yes, he did have some help. That's no fault of his. I still think the way he kind of came out this season compared to years past, I think he should take the award home.
I'll play devil's advocate, though, and make the case for Brady. 1 loss all season, set the NFL record for touchdown-interception ratio. At 39 years old, he was just as good as he's ever been. But let's now move on. A lot of good contenders for Coach of the Year, guys.
Yeah.
This is going to be highly debated. So what do you guys think?
You want to start or you want me to
Yeah, sure. I chose Jason Garrett of the Dallas Cowboys. I think he coached one of the most impressive seasons in Cowboy history. He did a lot with really not that much. Think about it. He had Tony Romo was out. His second-string quarterback was out. And then he has this rookie quarterback coming in. He has a rookie running back. And they go 13 for 3 this season, one of the best seasons in Cowboy history, like I said. And he really rolled the dice on Prescott. He coached him to one of the best rookie NFL seasons. And he still, like I said, led his team to a pretty good season, even though they did go out early in the playoffs. I think, like I said, he accomplished more with less, and I really think that's why he deserves Best Coach of the Year.
Yeah, I have Dan Quinn of the Falcons. It's his second year as head coach of the Falcons. 8-8 last year, 11-5 this year. No one expected them to make it this far. I feel like he's coached the team well. They had the highest scoring offense this year, and it's their first playoff appearance in 4 years. And I think without his guidance, even though it's only his second year, I think they wouldn't have made it this far.
Yeah, I think Dan Quinn deserves it, but I think Jason Garrett's going to get it simply because, let's not forget, these awards are voted on by the end of the regular season. So the playoffs aren't factored into it. If they were, I think Dan Quinn would probably be a lock for that.
Yeah.
But the way Jason Garrett and the Cowboys team kind of rallied behind 2 rookies to lead them to the playoffs and one of the best records and best teams in Cowboy history, I think he deserves it in that regard.
A lot of people saw Tony Romo go down before the season, and they looked at that defense, and they thought this team didn't have a chance. They were saying 5 wins max, and they managed to get 13.
Yeah.
Just a heck of a year. Jason Garrett did an outstanding job.
Yeah. But also with them, the Cowboys, like we said, were one of the surprise teams, surprise stories. So we kind of wanted to dive into that. Did you guys agree? Are they the surprise story? Do you have any different surprises that came out of the season?
I agree that they were the surprise story simply because of Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott. I really don't think anyone expected that out of 2 rookies, but they really were like the duo of the year, I think. Elliott was he was a breakout star this year. He came out of Ohio State. He led the NFL in rushing yards his rookie year. Dak Prescott, I think, had one of the best rookie years in NFL history, I would have to say. he filled pretty big shoes for Tony Romo. I think that was hard to do. Dak Prescott had a lot of pressure on them, but I think that duo was very surprising. I did not expect that out of them at all.
Yeah, no, I also went with the Cowboys as a surprise team. 4-12 last year, 13-3 this year, with 2 rookies really leading the helm. Unprecedented, if you ask me. 7 Pro Bowlers and 5 AP first-team All-Pros. That was not expected. I don't think anyone expected that, so I would definitely give them a surprise of the year.
Go ahead.
I'm going to go on the opposite side. So when we think of surprise, generally we think of like a good surprise team. We'll go with the good old Carolina Panthers. Quite the fallout. First one season they're in the Super Bowl, next season towards the bottom of the NFC South, which is already a laughing stock as it is. Love my boy Cam Newton. Obviously his injuries and stuff like that didn't help. The departing of Josh Norman. Just not what you expected after being in the Super Bowl.
Troy, both Super Bowl teams failed to make the playoffs this year.
It's true, but the Broncos did have a better season, much better season. They got some tough luck just based on the strength of the division, but yeah, very interesting to see. It's not often you see that.
I'll give you another one. The Oakland Raiders out in the AFC West. People saw them as an on-the-rise team, but they really came into their own this year. They were a powerhouse when Derek Carr was at the helm of that offense. They were guns blazing all season, and the defense was just good enough to get them to 11 wins before his injury. I loved Oakland's season. I hopped on the bandwagon. I was a big fan.
Oh, yeah.
I thought they were an awesome story.
Yeah, and obviously it's unfortunate how like Derek Carr went down because I would have loved to see them, in the playoffs.
That
First
would've been
with
great.
Derek Carr. I think they would have put up much more of a fight, but it's unfortunate how that had to go down.
You don't want to take it for granted, but I think they'll be back. They're a young team.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I agree. Yeah.
I think it'll be good. But guys, so we talked last segment to Aaron and Justin. We want to know your guys' thoughts. Who's winning the Super Bowl this weekend?
Okay.
You go.
Well, I'm gonna have to pick the Falcons. I really don't think their offense is the star of the team. Obviously, I really don't think there's any holes in that offense. You got Matt Ryan, obviously, like he's an all-star. You got Julio Jones, one of the best receivers in the NFL. And their running backs, they have interchangeable running backs. I think if it was just one of them, I think if it was just Tevin Coleman or just Devonta Freeman, it might be a little weak. But I think both of them together makes it a little stronger. And their defense has improved a lot this season, which has been very underrated, I think. And I really think it's going to come together. It's been a year of the underdog, the Cubs, Cleveland. I think, why can't it be the Falcons? Why can't the Patriots go down?
I never thought about that.
Yeah. No, I mean, number 1 offense, number 1 defense. I'm giving it to the offense. I'm going with the Falcons. Matt Ryan's had one heck of a season. With the interchangeable running backs, I think getting fresh legs in there is really going to help them. And with them being threats out of the backfield, not just running the ball, but receiving. And that offensive line is, I think, very impressive. And if they can not let Matt Ryan get down a couple times, I think they'll win that game.
You did mention number 1 offense, number 1 defense.
Yeah.
I'll use a stat that I used last week as well.
And every week.
Every week.
I think it's a good stat.
It is, no. Having some fun.
6 times in NFL history, the number 1 offense has faced number 1 defense in the Super Bowl, and 5 of the 6, the defense came out victorious. Last time being Denver and Seattle. So not impossible. It has happened where the offense has won. And again, in this past year, we've seen just about anything can happen in sports.
Absolutely.
So I wouldn't put it past Atlanta, but it is hard to go against Tom Brady, that experience. They are 4-6 under the Belichick-Brady regime in the Super Bowl. Four wins in 6 games, 4-2, with the 2 losses coming because arguably a miracle catch in each game by the Giants. I don't know that Atlanta has it in them.
They have a very young defense. I think that's the problem against a very experienced Brady.
Yeah.
But you know what they say, defense wins championships. So obviously that worked out in your statistic 5-1, but we'll kind of have to see how that pans out this week.